Hi guys, I just want to do a quick sound check. I'm not in my own home, so I want to make sure everybody can hear me. Can you hear me okay? No echo or anything? Hope everybody's having an awesome week. Happy Thursday. Just want to make sure you can hear me. Is sound okay? I see comments, but I just want to make sure everything's good. You got an echo, Kirby? Okay, let's see. Does anybody else have an echo? Or Kirby, is that you? Oh gosh, okay, hold on a second. Hold tight. Okay, sounds good. Okay. So those of you with an echo, okay, perfect. That's what I was thinking. I should be okay because I'm muted on the other line. So if you've got an echo, just refresh. Make sure you don't have anything open in the background there. Okay, welcome to tonight's team call, you guys. It's so crazy. This is the monthly, if you're brand new, welcome. This is the monthly Dynasty United team-wide call that we do. And we just do these as a big team once a month, and it's the second Thursday of the month. So being that it's November, this is our second to last call for 2016. So that's pretty crazy. So, you know, a lot of us just got back from Mermaid Camp. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but myself and the 3-star coaches and above of Dynasty United decided to co-host a conference-style sort of event with Diamonds and Above for all of Dynasty United. And man, I'm still recovering from that. I've got notes on my phone here I'm going to refer to. The content was amazing. If you guys were there, I think you would agree. Like each session was amazing. I feel like the content that was delivered was so relevant and really pinpointed towards our business and I think also just towards the type of coach that is building a business in Dynasty United. So keep that in mind, you guys, because that's going to be a yearly event from now on that we collaborate with and that we plan for, and you guys will have plenty of time to know the date for 2017. So I just wanted to put that in your ear, let you know, congratulate all of you who worked so hard to get there. Some of you made your goal and some of you didn't. And you know what? That's simply the reality, isn't it? We don't always meet our time deadlines. But those of you who did, just giant congratulations. Those of you who did not, I have no doubt you're going to meet those goals within the year. You're going to end 2016 as a diamond or above coach or whatever it is that your goal was. So anyways, congratulations to everybody. Thank you again to all the leaders that collaborated. You know, today I get to talk about something with you all for about a half hour. And it's something that's pretty important to me. And when I was planning this call, when I was finding the topic, how I wanted to talk about it, what I wanted to call it, it was kind of one of those things where I thought to myself, what are some of the conversations that I have with my coaches pretty often that feel like stumbling blocks to them as they're building their organization. And a lot of times it's this step into leadership that can feel a little bit strange. It can feel a little bit foreign for some of us who maybe are not in that position in life already. So I called this topic becoming a leader before you have to lead a team, because I firmly believe that some of us are getting it wrong. Let me say this in love, but some of us are waiting too long to work on our skills as leaders. We're waiting until we have the team. And at that point, you got to go for it, right? At that point, you've got a team. And so it's like that quote that Carl Deichler always says, just even about what we do as coaches and the resources and the solutions that we have for our challengers, is you don't start pumping the well right when you need water. You pump the well before you need water, right? And so it's the same thing with leadership. I believe you've got to start implementing very key behaviors to grow and level up your skill as a leader before you have a team, before you have a dynasty, before you have an empire, whatever the word is that you want to call it, because at that point, you can oftentimes, if you've waited until you already have a team to grow as a leader, you can feel like a fish out of water. You can feel like you're paddling, trying to keep your head above water because you're learning all of it all at once. So I've got 10 points for you guys tonight. And I really hope you guys brought a couple questions, because I'd like to answer some specific questions if we have time. But I'm going to give you guys some 10 points on becoming a leader before you have a team to lead. Now, you guys, this is like our fitness. This is like other areas in our business, you can very easily choose not to do these things. You can very easily choose to say, okay, yeah, I hear you, good, and still put it off. But I firmly believe that if you do put it off, you will struggle. And so I want to challenge all of us to listen to these 10 points. I want to challenge you to take notes. And I want to challenge you to identify a few things that I share with you that maybe resonate with you, and maybe things that you can kind of implement in your own business now. Because I was just thinking about this earlier today as I was posting and kind of emailing back some of my prospects that I'm talking with. And this is the, let's see, 13, 14, 15. This is the fourth holiday season that I've gone through as a Beachbody coach. This is the 4th November, the 4th December, the 4th slower season, the 4th final quarter, whatever you want to say. And it is imperative as coaches, as a team, that all of us lean in right now. It gives me goosebumps because, again, I have done this 3 other times. This is my 4th time doing it. And the key things that I implement in my business have carried me through to be effective and make a bigger impact come the new year. And so it's very important that as you're honoring family, as you're honoring travel, as you're honoring downtime with, your children or your spouse, all that is obviously utmost important. But we have to take our commitment very seriously and have a clear vision that if we have intentions to build this business to the point where it is helping so many people, our family included, but think of our challengers that need this in their life. Think of the families that need this in their life. If we truly want to be that person that pays that forward, you cannot skip November and December. You've got to lean in. It might be a little tougher. You might have to post more. You might have to wake up a little bit earlier. All of those things are true. You might have to yourself say no to a few extra treats in order to, not completely ruin your lifestyle or your results. You might have to commit to a short workout during the holiday season so that you're the example. The important thing is that you've got to lean in. I'm asking all of us to lean in. I will lean in. I promise you. I am 30 weeks pregnant right now. I'm going to enjoy Thanksgiving. I'm going to enjoy Christmas, but I am here. I'm showing up. I'm going to lean in because I've done it 3 other times. And that is the crucial part of this business. When things get tough, you are the one that rises to the top. When you are the one continuing your workouts, continuing your personal development, continuing connecting with other people, drinking Shakeology, no matter what time of day it is, and being someone that someone can trust. I'm going to go into that in a little bit. You become the go-to person. So dig deep with me because I know it's hard, but we've got to lean in together. So I wanted to share that. And then, I wanted to ask you this question as we're getting started. I'm planning something for some of my coaches, and I'm really excited about it. And this is like a really big thing that I'm going to pass on to Dynasty United. So I want to start this whole thing off with this one question. So if things are crazy around you, do your best just to settle your mind and listen in for just a second. If what you do as a Beachbody coach absolutely paved the way and provided for your family and your children in every way that you've ever dreamed of, or if your life depended on the way that you worked your business over the last 30 days, would you go back on these last 30 days and do anything differently? Let me rephrase that. If your life and the lives of your children depended on the way that you worked your business as a Beachbody coach over the last 30 days, would you go back and do anything different? I would bet that 99.9, if not 100% of us would say yes. And so I want you to think of that mentality, because the fact of the matter is, no matter what your goal is or what your definition of success is, this business changes people's lives physically first. Our transformations first. We have to get healthy first. And then it changes families' lives financially, mentally. You guys know the rap sheet, right? So if what we are doing as a coach has such a direct impact on the lives of our children, then why don't we align our behaviors to make sure that you are satisfied with the work that you put into your business? I know I could improve. I know I definitely could. And so I want you to think of that, especially in November and December. When you evaluate your month, when you look back at the end of November, at the end of December, I want you to look back and say, Did I do all that I should have done if it meant my family's life depended on it as a coach? And I hope the answer can be yes. I hope we can leave it all on the table because the work that we do is that important. A lot of you are basing your level of leadership. Maybe you can relate to this. So maybe use the chat box if this is something that you can resonate with. I'll have 3 scenarios here. A lot of you are basing your level of leadership on the number of followers on your Instagram account, the number of likes on your post, or whether or not the coaches on your team do what they say they're going to do. A lot of you are waiting to work on your leadership skills until you have the people to lead. But again, that's too late. That is too late. And others of you, you've stumbled as a leader. You've maybe made some mistakes, or maybe your schedule in life just got crazy all at once as soon as you onboarded some new coaches, and you feel like you dropped the ball. You feel like you dropped the ball as a leader. And so now you feel paralyzed and you're not really sure how to press restart. So those are the people that I want to talk to, those 3 groups of people, right? The first one is you're basing your level of leadership on the number of followers or likes you have, whether or not the coaches on your team follow through with what they say they're going to do. Some of you are waiting to work on your leadership skills until you have people to lead. And then others of you have dropped the ball and you are not pleased with the way that you've led your team, or maybe you made some mistakes or whatever it might be. And so now you feel kind of paralyzed. So again, I've got 10 points for you, and I'm going to go through these. You guys, this is based on my experience, not just personally, but the things that I've learned in this business for almost 4 years now. I've had a ton of failures. If you guys could see my inbox, I should screenshot it. If you guys could see the amount of no's, the objections that I'm working through right now in November, you would probably throw up. And so I want you to know that I'm 100% in the trenches with you. And leadership is key. Leadership is easy when things are going well, right? Leadership is really easy when you've got Success Club 20, the 5th of the month, or whatever it is. That's easy. That's easy to act as a leader. But I want to show you why I feel it's important for you to lead, to be a leader, to hone your skills as a leader before you have a team. And maybe you have a team already, and that's okay. Obviously, this still applies to all of us. But I don't want you to wait just until you have a team to lead or you have people to lead. It starts way before that. I can tell you that my leadership skills are always, I'm always stumbling. I'm always learning. I'm always looking for a new book. I'm always looking for someone who's done it better than me, ahead of me, more frequently than me, that I can learn from. And I think that's the position all of us should take, because none of us know it all. And in this business, we're working with a lot of personalities. And so we can all use some help on how to guide people, how to impact people, how to influence people in a positive way. So let me go ahead and screen share. I have a slide for each point just to keep me on track here. And again, I should have some time for questions, so we will get there. Okay, so the first point here, remember our title here is all about, the main part here is the topic here is about becoming a leader before you have a team to lead. So these are 10 tips for that, you guys. Let me just move some things around so I can see some of my notes. Okay, so the power plant, this is a Brendon Burchard quote. The power plant does not have energy, it generates it. This is so important to me because, I mean, you could go a lot of different directions with this quote, I think, but I heard this quote probably 3 years ago now, about 3 years ago now, and it's always stuck with me. It's the same concept of the well, you guys. It's the same concept of a map that I'm going to give you in a little bit. But the power plant, it doesn't just have energy, it generates it. It's the same thing with leadership. You aren't just a leader. You have to work on it. You've got to dig deep. You've got to set your lifestyle, your day up with these behaviors, these critical behaviors that you practice over and over and over again that become the result that you're looking for. The power plant doesn't have energy. It generates it. And so especially this time of year, I think of all the people that are going, I mean, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but there are going to be coaches that struggle, you guys. We are going to hear it more often than we do in January or February. And so you've got to get some rhino skin on if you've got coaches on your team. There's going to be complaints. There's going to be people saying, oh, I can't do this, or oh, this is hard, or oh, I'm failing, or oh, Success Club, or oh, the objections, or blah, blah, blah. And that's valid, and that's okay. But as a leader, you've got to figure it out. You've got to dig deep and figure out, okay, I need to generate my result here. I can't just expect it to fall into my lap. I can't expect my team page to maintain a momentum, a vibe, a culture that I love just because it's been that before. You've got to work at it. You've got to be the person that generates the outcome that you want. And so that goes with leadership as well. So that's the first point. The power plant does not have energy, it generates it. The second point here about becoming a leader before you have a team to lead, let me make sure that we're good here, is about your language. Sorry, I've got a lot. We're using my laptop and the screen is way smaller. Okay, good. You've got the right slide up. Okay. It's about the language that we use, okay? First it's the language, then it's the attitude, and then it's the enthusiasm. Okay, so this is so key. Because we have social media to rely on so much, it's critical that we pay attention to the language that we're using, that we pay attention to the attitude that we're portraying on social media to potential strangers, people who don't really know us. It's not like you're sitting down at Starbucks with every prospect or every potential person that you are talking with and they can feel your energy, they can feel your vibe. You've got to make sure. You've got to make sure that your language is confident. You've got to make sure that your language is on point as a leader, the kind of leader that you want to be. You've got to make sure your language supports that. You've got to make sure your attitude supports that. I can't tell you how key this is. It is so key, especially this time of year, you guys, when there are plenty of things to complain about. We all know what the last 48 hours at least have been on social media. It is key that we are the change. It is key that we figure out a way to flip that, and we are the ones that are different. We are the ones that have enthusiasm for what we're doing, no matter what day of the week it is. Have you ever heard of, or do you know someone in your life, or have you come across someone in your life that's just kind of such a drag? It's like there's always something to complain about, or they're just not excited about anything. They're like, okay, here we go again, another challenge group. I mean, who wants to join that? Not me. I'm like, okay, that must really stink. It must not be very fun for her, And so I'm not saying that we've got to put on this facade, but at the same time, pay attention to what you're putting out there. The enthusiasm, I always say this because I don't know who I heard it from. It's not my quote, but I learned it from somebody. But enthusiasm is a catalyst for success. And so the language that we use and the attitude that we have while we're using it is so critical. And then that enthusiasm behind what we do, you guys, that sets you up as a leader. That sets you up as someone who is confident in what you're doing. That sets you up as someone who is sure that you have belief in this company. And it doesn't matter if you get Success Club 100 or Success Club 1. If you are doing all that's in your control to help people and to build a personal brand that you are proud of, that is what should matter. The rest will come. The people will come. You will expand your market. You're going to have to work for it though. But if your language is negative, if your attitude is just poor, and if you lack enthusiasm, nobody will look to us as leaders. Nobody. People will unfollow you, hide your post, try to avoid the phone call, whatever it is. That's just the reality. The language, the attitude, and the enthusiasm is critical for us to position ourselves as leaders. So pay attention to that on social media. I want you to jot this down somewhere, maybe on the corner of your notes or something, or just wherever, post it. Look at the last 10 posts, over the next day or two. Look at your last 10 posts, and what would you say? What is the attitude on your social media? What is the language like? Would you consider yourself an enthusiastic person for the mission that you have in this company, whether it be fitness and wellness, or financial freedom, or freedom of choice, or choice for families, or whatever it is? Is there some enthusiasm there? Third point. Leadership is not a position, it's influence. All of us are striving to become leaders, grow in leadership, because it's key in this business to build an empire, to build a dynasty, to build, a legacy. There's going to be a lot of people. I shared at Mermaid Camp, I forget the exact quote now because, again, it's not mine. I think it was John Addison's. But really the only way to succeed in this business is to lift people up with you as you rise to the top. Lift people up with you. And so leadership is absolutely not a position. leadership is impact and influence. And so that's why all of us can be leaders, whether we are at the top of our downline or not, or at the bottom. All of us can be leaders because we have an influence. Uncle John, we have an influence, and we can make an impact on the people that we're in front of, whether it be our household or our small group or our social media or what fill in the blank for your life. But leadership is not a position. And the moment you think it is a position is probably the moment you're going to struggle, because, leadership is more about influence and impact. And so I want you to think of that when you're talking, when you're sharing, when you're casting your vision, which I'll get to in a little bit. Remember that your goal here is to influence people positively, to leave people better than before they found you, to impact people in a positive way for the life that they want to live. Okay, so number 4 is to be trusted. Again, you don't need a ginormous team to be a person that someone trusts. Now, I could go probably on and on and on about this, because this was actually the topic of the keynote speaker that we just listened to at Leadership Conference that Beachbody hosts for some of the top coaches. And so our elite mastermind was with Stephen Covey, and he talked all about the speed of trust. And it was probably the most packed presentation that I've ever been in, but also one of the most impactful ones. And it was all about trust. And so again, as leaders, and for our purposes here, becoming a leader before you have a team to lead, you've got to be a person that someone else trusts. And you've probably heard me say this before, but that's why it is so beyond critical in November and December for you to show up. For you to show up with your team, for you to show up on your social media, Snapchat, YouTube, whatever, fill in the blank. You've got to show up, because that's what builds trust. People do not trust somebody who is inconsistent. And you know what? The harsh reality is you could have the most valid excuse or reason, maybe excuse is not the right word. You could have the most valid reason ever of why you're not showing up. Absolutely valid. But to the person that doesn't know about that, that looks like you're inconsistent. That lack of follow through looks like somebody should be careful before they trust you, before they reach out to you, because who knows if you'll show up next week. And I'm telling you, this is so important. I've had people reach out to me after years of following me. And the reason they reached out is because of my consistency, whether it be through, again, I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm not a Mother Teresa coach, but I'm just saying I will show up. I have dedicated myself to the consistency, whether it's through deployment, IVF, pregnancy, sickness, moving, whatever it is, you show up. And when you decide to show up, you become a person that someone else can trust. And then they can trust you with their life that feels so chaotic. Or they can trust you with the most vulnerable part of their life right then, because they feel so uncomfortable in their body. They are so struggling financially, whatever the thing is. They trust you because you have shown up for them, even though you might not even know they're watching. That's the key part. You might not even know that they're watching you. But you showing up is enough for them to build that trust relationship from a distance. Okay, I could talk about this all night with you guys, but be trusted. Number 5, be rooted. Okay, this is big. This is big, 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 big. I was telling the girls at, I say girls because we were all girls. Thankfully, we would have to call it Mer something else camp. But anyways, all the girls at Mermaid Camp, for those of you who are at my PS Diamonds, my like jam with my PS Diamonds is all about not being fast, but being steadfast. Don't worry about being fast. Worry about being steadfast. Be rooted. There is power in clear decisions. I want you to really listen to this, because this is kind of a lot. You guys, this is from John Addison's book. What's it called again? I just forgot it. I'm reading it and I totally forgot it. Anyway, it's good. I'll post it in the coach family, but it's something that I've gotten a lot of encouragement from. He was the keynote speaker 2 years ago at Leadership, and someone that I just really respect and can really, I just learned from his personality really well. So anyway, this concept is from him. So be rooted. There is power in clear decisions. This is a quote that I love. Extraordinary circumstances are exactly when rock solid consistency matters the most. Extraordinary circumstances, whatever yours are exactly when rock solid consistencies matter the most. We've got to persevere and we've got to prove it. When you have made an absolute decision that you will be here no matter what as a coach, dedicated to your mission, not Dynasty United's mission, not my vision, not your upline's vision for you, not your, not Beachbody's goals for you. When you are dedicated to your vision, you will stick around for the long run. You've got to persevere and you've got to prove it to people. That shows people who the leaders are. You have to be the thing that does not change. This is what I shared at Mermaid Camp. Again, this is a lot based on social media. So you kind of got to work double hard to show this on the internet. But this is the truth. You have to be the thing that doesn't change, the thing that people can count on. You have to be that lighthouse that is really built on a solid foundation of rock. Because the truth is, especially this time of year, most leaders will go whichever way the wind blows. Oh, it's tougher to get Success Club. Oh, I don't like the new program. Oh, I don't like the promos. Oh, it's harder for me to get to elite than I thought, or whatever. And or oh, pumpkin gooey butter cake on my kitchen counter every day, or I'm going out of town for Christmas, or whatever the thing is. They're all valid, right? Like we said, the reasons are valid, but most leaders will go whichever way the wind blows. And it's your job as the leaders to stick with it, to persevere, to prove it that you are rooted in your decision to be a coach, no matter what, no matter which way the wind blows. And it's a leader's job to illuminate this course that we're on when it's dark and dangerous, when there's chaos and there's trouble. You've got to be flexible with change, but constant in your mission and purpose. That is what a leader, Pumpkin, if you guys haven't had that, that's a Paula Deen recipe, and you might hate me for it, but it's amazing. But being rooted is so important, because when you have such a dedication and a commitment to your long-term goal, it changes the way that you react to things. It changes the way that you see things, and it changes the way that you act proactively towards things. And so it's very important to be rooted in your decision. Have a clear vision, a clear decision for your role as a coach, your longevity as a coach, and I promise you that will serve you very well. Okay, number 6. I'm going to keep going so I don't go over time. Do the work and do the extra work. Here's the thing. Developing as a leader is not easy, because it's the things like, okay, so leadership, or I guess you could probably plug in anything, leadership, social media, video, whatever the thing is. Leadership is one of those extra skills that we all have to learn. And you've got to put that in between the vital behaviors. There's not really a check mark on your power hour to become a better leader, is there? To me, it's the extra work. To me, it's the thing where you have to say to yourself, all right, I'm kind of sucking as a leader right now. I got to be honest with myself, and I'm not super impressed with how I've grown as a leader. I know I've said this to myself. And you've got to say to yourself, all right, who do I look up to as a leader? Whether it be someone you actually know or someone from a distance like John Maxwell or John Addison or whatever. And what can I learn from them? And the thing is, this is another way that you elevate your skill. And this is something you're going to have to squeeze in. Your power hour might need to become 45 minutes, okay? Your power hour might need to become an hour, depending on the organization you're leading. It might grow. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a Saturday thing that you squeeze in before your family wakes up. You've got to do the work. You've got to do the extra work. Because without that, you will just stay status quo. And I'm not saying pile on all this extra work. I'm just saying, to be able to grow as a leader, you've got to do things like go back on your social media and look at the language that you've been using. Ask yourself, if I was a stranger or a new contact, would I read these posts and feel the enthusiasm that I have as a coach, as a person on a mission to help end the trend of obesity? Or would I say this is kind of boring and kind of blah? I know for me, it's kind of boring and kind of blah sometimes, just being honest. And so it takes that extra work of saying, what am I putting out there? Am I acting as the leader that I would like to be? So do the extra work. Find the personal development. Take the e-course. Find the person that you really admire as a leader and study what they do. And not in a creepy way, but just like watch the way they react to things or watch the way they respond to things and take note. Because that's how I've learned a lot, is just by watching people that I admire. Sorry, my voice always goes crazy after I talk a lot. Okay, number 7, take personal responsibility. This is a big one. Especially this week and last week, I've heard my share of valid reasons and concerns in people's businesses about why things aren't going the way that they hoped. And you could probably relate. Either you've said it yourself to yourself or your success partner, or you have coaches maybe saying the same thing. And the harsh reality is this: when things are not going well in our business or as we expect, 99.99999% of the time, maybe even 100% of the time, there is a disconnect in our action. There's something that we are not doing, or something that we were not proactive enough in doing before it was too late to not have this kind of result. And so it's so important, in order to be a leader, is to take personal responsibility and to not blame life circumstances, or to not blame the support your upline does or does not give you, or the last time you had a one-on-one call or a Zoom, or whatever the thing is, or whether or not your sponsor likes your post that day, or whatever the thing is. You've got to take I'm talking to myself too, we've got to take personal responsibility for our business, because you know what? It comes down to us. Nobody can build our business for us but us. That's what it comes down to. And you know what? If you've got an upline that cares, that offers resources or support or encouragement, you know what? You have a leg up. That's the bottom line. Even if they never handed you a single template or a graphic or a tip, if you've got an upline that offered you this business and offers you some sort of support, which you all do, because we have amazing leadership within Dynasty United. And there's a lot of cross leadership where some of my coaches help other coaches who don't even affect their business. And so we all have this community that we can tap into. And so it's very important that we tap into this personal responsibility for our own business, because that is what separates the leaders and the followers. When we are a victim, we don't have to take responsibility. When we're the victim, it's not our fault. And so I challenge all of us, and it's so easy to slip into this because sometimes it feels unfair, or sometimes we wish something would have panned out, or someone would have done something differently. And that's not always the case. And so we've got to dig deep to take personal responsibility and to level up as leaders in that way. Okay, number 8, this is a big one. I say this to my leaders all the time, and it might sound like a shameless plug, but I honestly don't think it is. This is based on my own personal experience, okay? Number 8 is to elevate yourself as a leader in the team pages. Here's the thing. When I was a new coach, I was in my upline is Lindsay Matway. I was in her team page. And occasionally I would go in there and I would say, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I just read this article on YouTube and I found this way to do this thing. Here it is. And I would just simply share a couple things that I found out when I was doing the extra work, you guys. Or maybe it was a like page thing, or maybe it was an Instagram thing, or maybe it was a footer on an email. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering. Or maybe it was personal development quote, like we did today in the Coach family. Somehow I would go into that group, and honestly, I didn't even think of it this way, but this is what the end result was. I would go into that group because I wanted to give back. I appreciated so much what my upline offered me, the community that I had to plug into, and I knew that this was some small way that I could honor the team, honor her, honor the opportunity that I've been given, and give back to the team as a whole. And you guys, you know what happened? When I began to do that on a regular basis, I think I had an alarm on my phone so that I wouldn't forget, like once a week, to go add value to the Bombshell Dynasty. When I continued to do that consistently, the other coaches in there saw me as a leader before I had a team of my own. And you know what happened, you guys? They started following me on my personal page. They started liking my posts. They started boosting my affinity on my Facebook. They started following me on YouTube or sharing my videos in their new coach training. I'm simply telling you the absolute truth. This is what happened. And it was simply because I was committed to giving back to the organization that gave me an opportunity to change my life. And so I want to tell you that this is a big deal. The coach family, or whatever your upline group is, or whatever. I mean, the coach family is a huge one because there's so many people in that group. All you got to do is be that person that's not in there complaining about customer service. All you got to do is go in there and say, hey, I've been using this app for my videos or to edit my pictures, and I love it. Or, you guys, you got to read this book. It's a quick read, and it's really helped me with my confidence. Whatever the thing is, you guys, it can be the smallest thing. Go in a group and add value. Elevate yourself as a leader in those team pages. I'm not saying go in there and answer everybody's questions. I'm not saying go in there and put out fires. That's really not your role. If you want to do that, go for it. But I'm saying be a person that is a leader in training, and you get to use your upline or your team page as a testing ground for leadership before your own coaches are in their group with you. So elevate yourself in the team pages. I guarantee if you do it consistently, if you become a person of value, people will begin to follow you. People will begin to tell their coaches to follow you, and then their coaches will tell their coaches to follow you, and then your network becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Not that our goal is to have a ton of coaches following us, because that's really kind of opposite of the point. But what I'm trying to say is it gives you this practice ground. It helps your social media. It gives you feedback on what coaches want to know more of. If you've got somebody else's coaches telling you, oh, hey, cool, that makes sense, but what about this? That gives you some insight on what you need to do a better job of explaining to your coaches. Okay, I could go on and on and on about this too, but I feel very strongly about this because it is important, and it is helpful, not just to you, but to your team as a whole. Okay, so that was number 8. We got 2 more points. Number 9, be one step ahead. This is kind of a short one here. What I mean by this is for you to anticipate the need. Anticipate the needs of your team. Okay, we get it. You don't have a huge coach family yet. You don't have a ton of business builders. Maybe you only have a discount coach, or maybe it's just your spouse or your mom or whatever. And so you don't have a ton of people that you're leading right now. And so you say to yourself, well, I don't have a team page. I don't have a personally sponsored page because this. To that I say, you're thinking small. To that I say, you are giving yourself a crutch and not believing that you are going to create a team. You're going to create a team. You're going to build and encourage a team of builders. Anticipate the need. Create things for your team before they need it. It's the same thing with the well, you guys. Don't wait until you're dehydrated to pump the well. Create your personally sponsored hub. Create the content or create the resources. And I'm not saying you got to create a PDF. Trust me, I'm not. I'm just saying make a list of the most helpful videos that you've seen other coaches do and have them ready so that when you onboard a coach, you are the most supportive, resourceful upline that they ever knew that they could ever have. Build it before they're there. When you do that, when you create it for them, whether it's a group or another thing that's a big is some sort of new coach training plan. It doesn't have to be a 21-day group. It doesn't have to be this whole 30-day, mentorship. But have something ready. You guys, it could be an email. I mean, it doesn't have to be lengthy. It could be a 4-day training. It could be a 7-day quick start. It doesn't matter. That's not really what matters. What matters is that you create something for them to come into. When you do that, this was a game changer in my business in 2014. When I created what was back then, I called it Smart Start. Was my coach training name. When I created Smart Start, it gave me so much confidence to invite my prospects to join my team because I had a group starting that next Monday. And I knew the content that I was going to post in that group was helpful because I spent the time. That goes back to, to number 6, do the extra work. I spent a weekend and I said, okay, what are the 15 most important things that I want my coaches to know as new coaches? What are the 15 things that I could give them over the course of 20 days. And I created it. You guys, it took work for sure. But once I had that, man, I used that for over a year and a half, maybe even longer than that. And when I had something before I needed it, what happened was it gave me this leverage. It gave me this ammo. It gave me this confidence to say, hey, I know you've been thinking about joining my team. I'm super excited for you. I know you said you were really excited about doing 21-Day Fix and helping some of your friends. I actually have this group that's starting in 10 days. I think it'd be perfect for you. It's actually a training. I created it to help you, lay a foundation for your business. Would you be interested in that? And you know what? That gave them the confidence to say, you know what? I want to be a part of that training. I don't want to miss that. Yes, I will sign up. I will do that. I will put my fears aside and I will say yes. And so create it for them to come into, whether it's a group or a training or a video, whatever it is. You might not have the coaches right this second, but you will have them. If you believe and if you work for it, you will have them. So why not have a great little hub of a few key resources that they can utilize as soon as they get started? Okay, that was number 9. Last one here, number 10. Have a clear vision. You guys have heard this from me before. Hold on, let me sip something real quick. Have a clear vision. Be very clear. People want to join somebody. People consider you a leader when you're going somewhere, right? I mean, that's pretty common sense. People want to join someone who knows where they are going. So again, another social media check, or whatever you use for expanding your network and your reach. If you looked back on the last week or so, would people know what you're all about? Would people know why you're doing Core to Force? Shout out to our test group, whoop whoop, our launch group, I mean. Would people know why you're building a business? People know why I am. I say it all the time. Might be super redundant for some people, but I don't care. I'm not posting this for other coaches to read. Sometimes I fall into that sometimes. I'm like, oh gosh, this seems redundant. This seems kind of redundant. I've talked about this before. But the thing is, the people that know that are the people that I've already talked to, or their coaches. And those aren't the people that I'm trying to reach. Those are not my key audience. That's not. It's the new friends that I'm adding. It's the new contacts. So it's very important for you to share your vision repeatedly. It's very important for you to be repetitive. Not the exact same post, but it's important for you to implement that reason, that vision, that aim often. Because if you're doing your power hour, that means you're adding new contacts. And so I don't care if it's redundant to the coach that's been following me for 3 years. What do I care? Honestly, what do I care if a coach on someone else's team doesn't like my post because they have already read my why? I don't care. That's not my goal. My goal is not to reach a coach. My goal is to reach and to connect with somebody new, a new person. And so I want you to keep that in mind, because I know a lot of people struggle with that. I know a lot of people struggle with feeling redundant or figuring out ways to share parts of their story. And it's crucial, you guys. If you're adding new contacts, it's really important. So people want to join someone who knows where they are going. So the question, I guess, is, what is your aim? What are you aiming for here in your business? Whether it be personally with your fitness or in your business, I'm not sure where you're at. Or maybe for me, it's a combination of both. I build both my business and I build, and I'm committed to my personal wellness journey as well. So do people understand what you're aiming for? This is the time to start sharing your vision, because when somebody hears your vision, and you don't have a team yet, but somebody hears your vision and they connect with something that you've shared, they think to themselves, oh my gosh, that's kind of what I want to do in my life, or that's kind of a season that I'm in. I relate to that. And no, maybe they're not like chomping at the bit for a sign-up link, but they are connected to you. They're loyally following you at this point. Or they've got enough confidence to reach out to you and say, hey, Marcy, I saw your post about why you're doing what you're doing, and I just wanted to say thanks. I can really identify with that, or I'm going through something. It gives you some connective tissue. So this is the time to start sharing your vision. So again, another social media check here. When is the last time that you shared your vision, your aim? Have you incorporated that in your posts recently? Because that's important. That's important for people to understand. This is the map thing. You need to have the map before you enter the woods. You need to have the map before you go into the woods. That's your vision. Before people join your team, it's important, or before people see you as a leader, it's important for them to understand what you stand for. It's important for them to know what your team is all about. And so don't allow yourself to be distracted by distractions. When you allow your attention to be taken away by all these distractions of, oh, my post only got 20 likes, or nobody liked that post, or only coaches like that post or whatever. Don't worry about it. If you see my social media, like probably 2 months ago, I made a decision that I was just going to post. I do not care what the affinity is. I do not care how many likes it gets. I'm going to pay attention to it. I'm going to pay attention to what my market likes more of, but it's not going to deter me from posting, because the truth is we don't always know what posts are going to resonate with people. We don't always know the exact time that's going to be the best time to post and reach people. You don't ever have it all figured out, at least on Facebook you don't, because things are always changing. So just post, just share. Don't allow yourself to be distracted. Don't allow your attention to be taken away from by these distractions. Who we become is a result of our disciplined action. Be disciplined about giving and serving and setting yourself up as a leader. Okay, so just to recap, the power plant does not have energy, it generates it. Watch your language, your attitude, and your enthusiasm. Is that something that people would be drawn to? Would that be a catalyst for your success? Is that something that people want to be around? Leadership is not a position, it's influence, it's impact. Make sure that you are somebody that can be trusted. That means, I don't know if you follow me on my personal page, but one way, a very, very simple way to develop trust with your market is to show your daily workout. So you might have seen today, me posting day 18 of Core de Force, posting something every single day. And again, being okay if it's not the most amazing post ever, being okay if it's not a post that gets 175 likes. Post the consistency, because that will build the trust. Number 5 was to be rooted. There's power in clear decisions. So be steadfast. Know that you are here no matter what to help people, and that you're sticking around even through a slow season or a busy season. Number 6, do the extra work. Be willing to put your nose down and carve out some time to figure out ways to grow as a leader. Figure out ways to reevaluate or self-evaluate your social media and figure out ways that you can improve. Number 7, take personal responsibility. Don't be the victim. Be the owner of your business and take that stance publicly. Be that leader. That is a leader. Number 8, elevate yourself in team pages. Share value. Share content. Be the person that shows up and welcomes new coaches. Something that matters to me a lot, and maybe hopefully you guys have a coach that you look up to, hopefully in Dynasty United. I know for me as a new coach, when somebody took the time to share something with me or answer my question or whatever, it meant so much to me that I never forgot it. As a new coach, we are so kind of vulnerable, right? We're so like we have no clue what we're doing, and we kind of feel nervous and scared and overwhelmed. And so when somebody that's been a coach for a while takes the time to say something nice or to welcome you or to congratulate you for Success Club or congratulate you for being an Emerald coach or whatever the thing is, that matters. And that fosters more and more culture and community that we want. And so do that. Take the 5 seconds to do that. Take the 5 seconds to welcome a new coach, to congratulate somebody on a rank advancement. Number 9, be one step ahead. Anticipate the need and create the thing that they need before they even know they need it, before you even have the person. Create it for them. Have that vision that your team will expand. And then number 10, have a clear vision. Know where you're aiming. People want to join someone who knows where they're going. So I love you guys. I am so committed. I love this team. No matter what the ebbs and flows are in our industry, I'm here for the long haul, no matter what. And so remember, what I want you guys your gut check to be for November and December, that if your life and the life of your family, your children, depended on the way that you worked your business over the last 30 days, would you go back and do anything differently? I want you to think of that. I'm going to probably put that quote and I'll summarize it and put it in the coach family, because I think it's that important. I think it's important that we lean in. Let me unscreen share. I think it's important that we lean in together. I think it's important that we publicly share how consistent we are going to be no matter what is at the kitchen table. And guys, indulge, have a great time. Like show that coaches are real people, but get up and do that workout. Post that workout accountability. Talk to people. Get your butt to diamond. Get your butt to team leader, whatever it is. This is no time in your business to slow down just because it's a busy year. You guys, if you take control of the content and the trust that you build with other people, they will want to join you. They will. New Year's is a perfect time. People are smart enough to know, let me join her team now so I can learn what it's like to be a coach. I can learn from her. So come January, I'm ready to go. My friends know they can come to me. You guys, that's not like a sales tactic. That's the truth. If that was me, if I was somebody watching your page and I knew January was such a popular time for people to get started on their health and fitness, I'd say to myself, maybe I should start in November or December so I can learn a little bit and then be confident, competent, and ready in January, right? So anyway, use whatever language you got to use. Talk about it. Share about it. Talk about your aim. Talk about your vision. Talk about the culture you're creating. Become that leader. And I guarantee your team will grow, will thrive. It'll be so fun. The new blood that you bring into your team will be so fun. And you guys, if you're old blood like me, let's get back to what it's like to be a new coach. Let's have that enthusiasm in our team pages. Let's throw away the reasons and the valid reasons and the excuses and stick to the one reason why you think it will work. Stick to the one thing that you are going to hold on to because you care that much. You've got such a long-term commitment that you are willing to work for it. I know mine is so clear. It's so clear. So nobody has to tell me to invite. Nobody has to tell me to send out follow-ups because it's so personal to me. And so I hope that's the case for you. And I hope that you can exercise your leadership skills. I hope that you care enough to do the extra work, to go the extra mile, to be rooted in your decision, to become a leader before you have a team. Because, man, when you've got those coaches joining your team and you're already exercising those leadership skills, they're going to be inspired. You're going to make an impact. You're going to have an influence on them, and they'll do the same thing. Okay, so I went a little longer than I hoped, but does anybody have any specific questions that they would like some feedback on? I'm happy to answer a couple. You guys are awesome. I'm so happy we did this. We've got one more team call for the year, and then we're moving on to a brand new, clean slate, clean new year. Anybody have any questions, thoughts, anything that you want me to give feedback on? I love you guys. I'm super proud of you. I'm telling you, I'm in the trenches with you this month and next month and the month after and the year after and the year after. Any questions, guys? Last call. I know there's a little bit of a delay. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Okay, good. What are some of your favorite personal development books for leadership? I love the old school 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. I also love his leadership book. Anything else for leadership? I like, it's kind of a, I guess it's a good one. I think Entre Leadership is really good too. It's a little like kind of long, like 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, but it's really good. So those are and then Take the Stairs is more like success concepts. I wouldn't say that's definitely leadership. The one that I'm reading right now, why can't I think of the book? It's by John Addison. I'm trying to think of the title. I'll post it in the coach family, you guys, because it's really good. Miracle Morning is awesome. Yes. 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Talk about how you're connecting with new people. Quick question, maybe okay. How do I connect with new people? So when you look for leadership stuff, do you look to other coaches and Coach Online Office? Ashley, I'm going to come back to you, Nicole, your question. Actually, I usually look to people like Brendon Burchard, John Addison, people who are professional speakers on, that's my tendency. But as a new coach, I would follow other veteran coaches that I felt were very strong leaders, and I would just observe them. I wouldn't blow up their inbox with questions or anything, but I would just observe them. How often are they recognizing their team? How often are they talking about their own vision for their personal business? You know, what are the things that they're talking about? And that really gave me a lot of insight. So I would do both. So I would follow veteran coaches that you are inspired by or you feel are strong leaders. And then I would find people outside of the Beachbody Network that are professionals, whether it be an author or a public speaker. And then as far as connecting with new coaches, Nicole, this is my rule of thumb. I like to be pretty casual, right? Because social media, there's a level of creepiness if you're a little too aggressive, right? So for me, it's about finding people that I connect with some sort of commonality, whether it be a family dynamic or a hobby dynamic or whatever. And so at that point, I friend request them, and if it's a friend request out of the blue, I'll send them a message too, like, oh hey, like, hope you don't mind the friend request. I saw that we have this in common, or I saw that you were also in this group, and I just thought it would be fun for us to connect. A lot of the people that I connect with right now are over pregnancy or IVF, and so it's very, very easy because that's such a niche. I shouldn't say easy. It's easy to connect with them once I find them because it's such a niche common ground or similar season of life. And so that's pretty simple. So, but before IVF and pregnancy, it was dogs, fashion, attitude, that kind of thing, that I would reach out to them. And then I'm not talking about Beachbody at all with them. My goal is to connect, is to like their stuff, to, find out more about them. If I have a question about something they've posted, I might start a personal conversation. And then the thing is, if you're doing your job as a coach, in my opinion, this maybe is a little harsh, but if you're doing your job as a coach and you're posting valuable stuff, you're sharing your vision, you're talking about challenge groups or your team, at some point, it's very likely that they will ask you about what you're doing, right? So that happens a lot to me. And if they don't, you've been posting about this stuff so often, when you're in conversation, it's a very, very simple segue to say, hey, Hannah, let's just say Hannah was my new friend. Hey, Hannah, I know we were talking about, I don't know, LaCroix or something. I don't know what we were talking about. We're talking about something silly or kind of minimal. I don't know if you saw my last post, but I'm doing this virtual fitness group and it's going to be really fun during the holidays. Have you ever thought about doing something like that? And so when you're doing your job as a coach, consistently posting value, vision, invites, it's a very simple segue to say, hey, I don't know if you saw my last post, but have you ever thought about doing something with this, like this with me? And if the answer is no, the answer is no. But you still have that relationship that you've kind of started, kind of forming. So anyways, I could kind of go on about that for a while, but I hope that helps. That's how I connect with new people. But again, my goal as a coach at this point is to create so many touch points that people are finding me. People are initiating the conversation with me. That wasn't the case for my first 2.5 years. And even now I reach out to, I personally invite all the time, but I have so many YouTube videos. I'm on Instagram. I have a like page. I have a public personal page, and I have a blog. Not that you need to do all that. I'm just saying gradually over time, I've added those things in one by one. So there's multiple touch points that people can find me. And that's the goal. The goal is not to do all that at once, you guys. So hear me on that. But the goal is to focus on a specific area of social media to expand for like 6 to 12 weeks, and then add and get really, really good at that, and then add on. So anyway, that's my opinion. Just connect with people, be a normal person, be a normal friend, have the same conversation that you would have with them at Publix or at whatever, a normal, or at Target or whatever. If you ran into them, just be a normal person. Don't be pushy. You can also do free groups. I mean, I don't do a lot of free groups, but you could do free groups, condense them, make sure that they are different than your challenge groups. You don't want them to be the exact same, because why would anybody join your challenge group if you just do it for free? You could do a free group for 5 days, 10 days, no sugar, planks. I just saw Kirby's today. Planksgiving is just so cute. Somebody else was doing salads and squash, which I thought was so cute. I don't know if that was Lindsay or Mindy or what, but you could do a free group just to add value and just to connect with people. And then the thing is, if it's right for them, it's right for them. If it's not, you keep moving. That's just what it comes down to. So, oh yeah, that's a great book too, Erica. Good point. Irrefutable Laws of Growth, or of Leadership. Okay. All right. So it's 10 o'clock. I love you all. Don't forget Team Spirit is going on. So, talk about your team, talk about this mission that we're on, hashtag Team Beachbody, Team Spirit, and Dynasty United. If you're in the Quarter Force test group, lunch group, you get bonus points for being on this live call. So don't forget to do your screenshot, and we will log points tomorrow and do some giveaways. But Anyways, got a lot of love for you guys. I'm here with you. I'm committed. Let's all add value to our team pages, whether it be Coach Family or your uplines team page. Be intentional about that. Let's implement these 10 ways that all of us can become leaders before we have a team to lead. If you've got a team to lead, there's 10 really great, I think, really great tips for all of us to elevate our leadership and to lean in November. It'll pay off. Lean in December. Promise you it'll pay off. I've done this my 4th time now. I wouldn't tell you it was true if it wasn't true. It's true. So you got to have the vision, long-term commitment, stay steadfast. Don't worry about being fast. Get to Diamond, get to Success Club, get to whatever your goal is. Go all out. Help some people. Be true to yourself, but help a lot of people. Okay, guys, have a really great weekend, and I will see you guys in the groups. Okay, bye, guys. Thanks for hopping on.